I was thinking to myself the other day about the PlayStation 3, and I was slowly thinking to myself, what games did you play for that system? How often did you play it? Why don't you have any, like, really vivid, fond, many memories of the PlayStation 3? And then it hit me. I barely played the thing. I bought my PlayStation 3 when I was in my first apartment, when somebody was dumb enough to give me an adult credit card with, like, adult money. And one of the first things I did was buy a PlayStation 3 Slim brand new, which I think is the first new console I ever bought. And then I believe, like, my first, like, flat screen TV, but they were still kind of big at the time. And I remember buying Need for Speed Hot Pursuit as my very first game, because I was, like, pretty much hot off of Need for Speed Most Wanted for the Xbox 360, which is, like, one of my all-time favorite racing games. It's also my first HDMI console I ever owned in my entire life, so I was completely blown away by the graphics. I remember enjoying Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, but not, like, really diving into it. And of course, this was also my first Blu-ray player in the household, and so, honestly, I kind of feel like that's what it ended up getting used for the most. What's also interesting about this whole thing is I think about 5 years ago or so, I aggressively started collecting for the PlayStation 3 with the full intention of completely playing the games and using my PlayStation 3 and diving into the library that I missed, because I don't think I really collected for it a lot when it was popular, and I think I started collecting for it when the prices were dropping and I was anticipating things going up. I don't know if they ever did, but I also never played those games that I picked up. When I was thinking about it, the games I remember playing the most, I remember playing Dragon Age a lot, and it still kills me to this day that I never finished that game. I think I got pretty damn close. I also played Heavy Rain on that, which was one of the first times I think I played a game like that, so I really enjoyed Heavy Rain, despite the whole Jason thing.
Jason!
I also played, I think it was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is the only Call of Duty game I've ever played, like, I think ever, and I completely played through the campaign, which I know that's traditionally not like the draw to those games, but I actually enjoyed myself with that game. So you might be asking yourself, why? Why would you buy a PlayStation 3 and not play your games? I think I can boil it down to, I owned an Xbox 360. I bought one secondhand from a friend, and I enjoyed the library that was on that game, or on that game system, a lot more than I think I enjoyed what I had on the PlayStation 3. I also believe I was still working at Taco Bell at the time, so it's not like I had a ton of money to spend on video games. So when I bought the Xbox 360, it came with a bunch of games. So I was playing, like, Borderlands, of course Fable 2, I obviously can never stop talking about that. And I think that system just kept me a lot more busy than the PlayStation 3, one, because I couldn't afford my games, and two, the Xbox 360 was better. Also, not to mention that the Xbox 360 was my first exposure to the Xbox consoles. I was very much like a PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube kid at the time that the original Xbox came out, and so I completely missed that train completely of original Xbox games, which of course I did later on get an Xbox. But of course the 360 technically was my first Xbox console ever. And I thought the controller design was amazing. I liked the user interface, and I loved the games. So, I don't know if the PlayStation 3 really ever had a chance. So, of course, saying all of this, one, I'm a bad PlayStation 3 owner. Two, what did I miss out on? What games did I not get to experience because I didn't either buy them for the console, or maybe I currently own them and I just haven't played them? I personally, and I can't explain it completely, I don't find the PlayStation 3 controller very comfortable. It's one of my least favorite controllers to play with. I love the PlayStation 4 and I love the PlayStation 5, and you would think that they're not that much different, but for me, they're different enough. Now, I did see somewhere that you could sync up your PlayStation 4 controller and use that on your PlayStation 3, so that might be something I give a try. But I want to know from you guys, what PlayStation 3 games did you play that you just absolutely fell in love with? What are the must-plays on the PlayStation 3? You gotta let me know in the comments down below, because I just completely missed this generation, even though I owned the freaking console, which is just insane to me. I don't know what I was thinking back then. It's not like I didn't have the time to play my games. I think I also had a Wii at the time that I got from a thrift store. I don't understand. So I was looking through my library and I was trying to find like 5 games that I think really pique my attention, games that I think I'd really like to play and try out. And one of them is Split Second. from my understanding, this is a racing game where you're playing like a Hollywood like stunt driver, and the whole thing is like a movie scene that like falls apart as you go through the tracks, which looks amazing and completely up my alley. I picked this up not that long ago, so I haven't had this game very long, so I can say with somewhat confidence that that one I kind of mildly had an excuse for. Another one is the 3D Dot Hero games. I remember talking about this in a pickup video and how excited I was to even come across this game, because I believe some people say it's kind of like a Zelda clone, which I will admit I'm not like the biggest fan of the original Zelda game, only because I'm not nostalgic for it and I just feel like I get lost pretty easy. Maybe I just need to play through the game and like draw the map. I think that would be a lot of fun. But another one is Star Wars Force Unleashed. I remember dabbling in this game and thinking it was really like a really cool story, and I just never went back to it. I don't know what it was that I got a short attention span, man. I don't know what to say. But Star Wars Force Unleashed, I think that one would be a really fun game to play as well in terms of like Star Wars games. LA Noire, this one's definitely more up my alley now than I think ever, because I was playing the Mafia games a lot recently, and I like those types of games where it's like that old school like storytelling gangster type stuff. So I would say now more than ever after playing Mafia, and I'm currently I beat Mafia 2 as well, and then now Mafia 3, which I picked up and then dropped. And then the very last one, this one was something that came up kind of as a hidden gem. I think maybe when I posed a like question about hidden gems for the PlayStation 3, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. I don't know anything about this other than it kept coming up in like hidden gems or games that you need to play for the PlayStation 3. So that one I can't really speak to, but I did end up picking it up when somebody suggested it. And I, of course, again, just didn't play it because I have a tendency to just kind of start different games and then I kind of stick to one and then I drop the others and then I regret dropping them and I go back to them eventually someday. It's a really vicious cycle. So that's it for this video. I'm ashamed that I owned a PlayStation 3 and I completely neglected it. I didn't play it very often. I used it as a glorified Blu-ray player. I don't find the controller comfortable, but let me know what you think of the games that I picked out of my collection that I'm excited to try out. Let me know if you also didn't like the controller and if you have any alternatives. I know there's some companies that like sell some replacement ones, I guess, but I guess tell me in the comments why I suck and why I completely missed out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget, a pixelated world awaits.
Stack high all the treasures we found, pixelated dreams scatter around, controllers clicking a soothing tune, under the glow of the pixel moon.